everyone, I am back with another video. I hope you're all doing well. I am doing the 10 baby names that I love but will not be using tag. So we already have one little boy who is called Joshua Samuel. A little bit of reasoning behind that name. Joshua was the first name that me and Sam actually both agreed on and both loved. It was sort of the name that was constantly on the back burner throughout the pregnancy, and a few days before I was due to go in to be induced, we sat down and thought, right, baby hasn't got a name, let's sit down and finalise a name. So we had quite a few names that had been front runners throughout the pregnancy that we'd sort of loved and then decided that we didn't really like them anymore, but Joshua was the name that had always been sat on the back burner. So we both decided that it felt like that was the name for him. It was the name that we would always go back to and always compare any other name to. So that was the reason why we called him Joshua. His second name is obviously because Dad is called Sam, so he's taken his second name from his dad, so that is why he's called Joshua Samuel. Anyway, I have got 10 baby names that we love but will not be using for any future children. I have 5 girls' names and I have 5 boys' names. So I will start with the boys' names and talk you through the reasons why we love them but won't be using them. So the first name is Max. We thought this was such a cute little name for a little boy, but with our second name being Morgan, we thought Max Morgan doesn't really have much of a ring to it. It doesn't sound right with the M and the M. So that was why Max is a name that we love but won't be using. The second name that we have on our list is actually Chester. This was a front runner at one point during my pregnancy with Joshua. We thought it was such a cute little boy's name. It was so different, it was so out there, and then somebody turned around to us one day and said, but people are going to shorten that to Ches, and are you sure that you like that? Which instantly put me off because I don't like it shortened to Ches, which is why I decided that Chester wasn't going to be the name for him, and probably wouldn't be a name that I would use in the future either. So that is the reason why we won't be using Chester as a baby name. The third name is Joseph. Now this is a name that I absolutely adore for a little boy. I think it's so cute, I think it's so classic and traditional, and I just think it's a lovely sounding name. And the reason why we won't be using this is because Sam isn't that keen on the name Joseph, which is fine. He likes names that I'm not overly keen on as well, so that's why we won't be using the name Joseph. The fourth name is Matthew, again for the same reasoning as Max. We love the name, but the M and the M, Matthew Morgan, we just don't feel has much of a ring to it, which is why we're not going to be using the name Matthew. And the last boy's name we have on the list is James. The reason why we will not be using James as a baby name is for similar reasons as Chester. We don't like the shortened versions of Jimmy and Jim. However, we do like the name James, so unfortunately you can't control how other people shorten your child's name, especially as they get older. So James is not a name that we will be using. Next, on to the girls' names. The first name I have on the list is Evelyn. Now, I absolutely love the name Evelyn. I think it's so cute and it's so pretty. However, Sam isn't overly keen on that name, so it isn't a name that we'll be using. The second name on the list is Amelia. This is a name that both me and Sam absolutely adore, and the reason why we won't be using it is because it is an incredibly popular name at the moment. There are so many little girls that are called Amelia, and we don't want any of our children to be one of 10 of the same name, and that is the sole reason we won't be using the name Amelia. The third name on the list is Emily. This is a name that again I absolutely adore. I think it is so pretty and I think it's so cute. Both me and Sam absolutely love the name. However, my mum absolutely hates the name Emily with a burning passion, and so I know it's my child and I can call them whatever I would like. However, I personally just couldn't call my child a name that I knew my mum hated. which is why we would not be using Emily as a name for any future children. The fourth name on the list is Isabel. Similar reasoning to James and Chester. We don't like the shortened version of Izzy. Otherwise, we think it's a really cute, really pretty name for a little girl. And last name for a girl is Edie. Now this again was a front runner before we knew the gender of Joshua when I was pregnant with him. We thought Edie was such a cute name. Sam's nan was called Edie and my great granny was called Edie, and we thought it was a really pretty name. However, on reflection, Sam now thinks it may sound a little bit too old-fashioned, and slowly he's not loving it so much. Oh, don't know what that is. Hello?
How are you getting on?
Yeah, I'm just filming a video.
Oh, excellent.
So that's my 10 baby names that I love but will not be using, and I will see you all again soon. Bye!